Yo, I'm back with another show, y'all, and I'm just gonna get right into it more quickly than usual today on my show because I'm actually gonna do a music review, two songs I'm gonna bring on the show. So if you're listening, you know what this show is about. We like to talk about rap music, gospel topics, Christian topics. We always like to bring people on the show, and I have someone on the show. I've been bringing him on the show a lot lately. I'm not getting tired of him. Don't worry, y'all. But sometimes it feels like maybe I just need to make it his show and my show. But don't worry. I'm working on getting. I think he gave me a like a look. Maybe that may be a good idea. but but don't worry. I got plans to bring other people on the show. If you're listening too, man. If you're an artist, gospel artist, I don't care if you're a singer, rapper, even if you do something like if you're a comedian or if you have a ministry and you're into rap music, hit me up, email me, DM me. Just look me up, regular raps on Facebook, Instagram. You can email me at regularraps@gmail.com and just let me know and send me some music too so I can listen to your music because I ain't playing garbage. Nah, I'm just kidding. But if you want music promoted on my platform, send me your MP3, send me a bio if you want. Let me know what your song is about, and I'll also review your songs on this show like we're about to do today. So I think I'm actually going to do more of that on my regular rap shows. So if you're tuning in today, I have Victor Smith from Sanctified Sound. He's on the show, so I'm gonna bring him on right now. And bam, he's on this thing. What's up, Victor? How you doing today, man?
Doing fantastic. Just glad to be back.
Yeah, man. It's been a little month. It's been a little while since we've done the show. It's been a little. Oh, what'd you say?
So a lot has happened.
Yeah, a lot has happened. I felt like I needed to take a little break from some things from the show. But I feel more refreshed. I feel like I'm ready to do it again. And if you're joining, if you're an artist or if you do music, Christian music, whatever, if you want to be on a show and you have a ministry, just hit me up, man. Let me know. Send me your info, phone number, email, social media page. So today, man, we're going to start off. First of all, we're going to talk about something that I think a lot of artists are missing. And it's knowing how to be successful as an artist, but for the most part, it's knowing what your goals are as an artist, knowing how to plan your career as an artist. So we're going to get into that. But first of all, let's touch on a song that was submitted to me. And I just want to know what you think about this song. We both listened to it before the show. And I'm going to play it through my YouTube page. This is a page where I promote people's music through my audio visualizers. Let me bring it up real quick. Bam. So that's the image of what I got for y'all. So this is what it looks like. If you're not familiar with my audio visualizers on my YouTube page, I'm going to play it. You'll get to see it moving and you'll hear the music. So if you want your music promoted, I'm doing it for free. You've seen other people do this just to get the music, just to bring awareness to your music, to the craft of Christian hip hop, because not everybody knows about the music and how hot it is. And this is a hot track right here. So this song is by TJ God Farron. The name of the song is XXL, which is this is Roman numerals. What is XXL in Roman numerals? It's 20.
Something.
Dang. Let's skip that because it's been a while since I've learned Roman numerals.
25 or so, I don't know.
L is like 60 or something. But so this is the song. We're just gonna play it in the background, y'all. I like the vibe. I'm gonna start off by saying I like the vibe to this song. And when I heard this song, I was like, yeah, this is that type of song that you hear a lot of people doing, a lot of rappers, with their voice, the auto tune, the waviness. What you think about this song? What you think about the song?
You know, that was the vibes that I got. It was even though I like it, it sounds real good. I love the production and all that. But it just felt generic to me. Um, the message was really good. Um, man, parts of it made me wonder how this would go live. You know, like how would this be translated? Really within a message. Like what specifically is the full message of the song about? Parts of it, like I said, it just felt generic. I literally like saw T Pain, you know, like
Yeah.
I literally saw him as I was listening to it. It was just like, man, I wonder what this guy looks like, you know. So, what if he had dreads and stuff, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Is that a good thing that artists they tend to sound like some of the popular artists sometimes these days?
Well, I mean, it has pros and cons. I mean, the pros thing is that you're getting the right direction. You know, you're hitting the vein that the mainstream artists are hitting, and so you're doing your job. You're doing it great if that's what your goals are. But as far as individuality is concerned, then you have a problem because you sound like everybody else, and you sound like what everybody else is trying to sound like, and so that could actually be. I mean, everybody's trying to accomplish what you accomplished. You know what I'm saying? So that could be the downside to
it. And that's actually one thing I've learned. When I went to school for audio video, and my teacher, he was actually talking about that. He said, if you're an artist, there's two options. You can sound like other people who are doing the same thing, and you can be really good at it and fit in, but you're going to get noticed because that's the lane, that's the popular lane. Or you can sound really unique and sound really different, but you sound really, you're in your own lane, but you sound hot.
Right.
I think I find that to be true as well.
Yeah.
I know with rap music, you can tell, you can hear the similarity in a lot of people's music, man, these days.
Right. Now, one thing about that song, I really like that track though. I like the timing. It's not just a straight, I mean, it made you flow to it. You know what I mean? So it wasn't like so boxy. It was something special. I'm gonna put it that way, and I think that a lot of artists probably would have ran away from a track like that, but not being able to actually like pull off, like be an asset to the song instead of. And that's one thing that I did like about his his version of what he did is that what he did enhanced the track. The track is a beast on its own, but what he did, it did enhance the track. And so I felt like, hey, I didn't feel like somebody else should have been on here. You know? So I think that he really captured like that's his. It made it his own.
You said you think a lot of people would have ran away from that track though?
Yeah, I know a lot. Well, certain artists, it's one thing to say, hey, yes, this track is off the chain. I'm about to do whatever. But there are artists that are like, man, I'm scared I'm gonna mess it up.
Oh, okay. Because it's so good.
Yeah, it's so good.
But you're not a good artist then if you thinking that. Right, you ain't a true artist if you thinking that. You better get better in your craft.
Right. Yeah. But like I always talk about is that you have a lot of people trying to do this stuff. Yeah. But there's a certain level of artistry that the majority has not even touched yet. So you're not as far as you think you are, from hitting your stride.
Some people do mess tracks up though. It's true.
Absolutely.
Even though this song sound like it's really easy to do, I'm gonna be honest. It is easy, but you got to know what you're doing still, regardless.
Well, it's simple now. It's simple now with the technology. Anybody can go on and do it, but it's up to the producer actually the engineer, the mixing engineer to actually like make you sound like you're supposed to sound. So it's no longer really on the artist. It's a lot of it's on the producers and who you have behind that board. because they can make you sound like whatever.
Yeah, we can. I know we can talk more about this because I'm going into other things to talk about. Well, we ain't going to dive deep and maybe for another show. And I know we're going to do a show more about the music because I feel like talking about the music, what artists create, that there's a lot to talk about. There's a lot of good stuff, and you have a lot of experience as an artist, as a producer, working with artists yourself, and with the things you're doing right now. So we'll save some of this for another time, maybe the next show.
Absolutely.
But
do have to show that and have to show the other. You know? Yeah. Might end up being a whole show.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Let's get into the topic today. We're gonna play another song for y'all later on. If you're joining, we're talking about planning careers as an artist. How to be successful. You know, I think that's the whole object of why you plan your career as an artist. And maybe you're not serious about your craft. Maybe, you know, you have a certain level of success that you want to reach. We're going to talk about that, y'all. If you have questions, also hit me up in the comment section. You got questions for Victor, let me know. Drop me a comment. But yeah, you heard that. Bring it on. So we talked about branding and marketing your music. We've had a lot to talk about those things and performing. And before the show, you had brought up to me, maybe we should talk about, or you wanted to talk about planning your music. And I kind of thought, well, didn't we kind of go over this because we talked about branding and marketing? But after we talked before the show, I realized that there's a lot more that goes into it when you're planning your music. It's not just marketing, it's not branding. So I'm going to ask you, I hear you about to go off.
Oh yeah, rant alert.
Yeah, rant alert. It's probably something that I said. So I'm gonna ask you a question based off of what I said. What is the difference between planning your music and perhaps branding, or planning your career and branding and marketing yourself? What is the difference?
Yeah, so the branding and marketing is is almost along the lines of, think about going on a road trip. The destination is you're planning your career. You're planning. That's the map. The marketing is how your car looks on the way to your destination. You know, like it's the paint job. It's the, you know what I mean? Like it's the rims on the car, on the wheels. You know what I'm saying? It's the sunroof. That's what the marketing and all that stuff is to help you to build a following on your way to your destination. So that's what the marketing and all that stuff is.
Okay.
As you're going to your destination, you need to pick up some fans to follow you to your destination. So that's the difference.
That makes sense. Like, I mean, my car, for example, it looks nice. I don't even know if I want to tell y'all what my car is because recently my engine went down.
Maserati. I'll play with them.
Oh man, I got a Ford car, y'all. I got an American car, and second time my engine got messed up. Right now it's in the shop. Good looking car, 2016. But on the inside, what's up with this engine, man?
Uh-oh.
You know.
Uh-oh.
We're gonna get off that topic because I'm getting heated. What's let me see. What goes, or let me ask this. Planning, is that the same thing as goals? Like, would you say it's the same thing as goals?
Yeah. Well, the plan is how to reach the goal. The goal, we talked about the goal before. We talked about the end game. You know, what we're looking for, and every artist's goal is different. We think that we want the success that these national artists have, but we don't really want that when it comes to when push comes to shove.
Yeah.
We think we want it. We want the glitz and the glam. We want the positive parts of it. You can get in the games, football games, basketball games, down on the football levels, and you're in front of thousands of people. You're rocking stages. You're always in the studio. You're just making gobs of money. We want that part of it. But the other side that we don't see is the fact that if they step outside of their house in a robe, the whole world is going to scrutinize them.
Mm.
You know, I mean, their privacy is gone. Everybody's following, some people following them, trying to get pictures. You know, I've seen this person here, such and such. They're literally held up in their house, and they have to come out in like, you know, disguises just to go to the grocery store. You
Yeah.
know, who wants to really live a life like that? You know, and if you do you actually want to do whatever it takes to get that type of a life? You know,
Yeah.
so that's the other side of it. It's like it's so much that goes into it. All we see is what the media shows us, and we think that that's the destination that we're trying to get to. But when we actually start heading that direction, we realize, you know what? I probably don't want that. You know, and so
Mm.
your goals start to change, and you know, is when you're first starting in music, especially as a Christian artist, your goal is souls. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know how many conversations I've had with artists, and that's, I mean, it's pure. If all they say is if I can get one, if my whole career, if I could just save one, it'll make it all worth it. And
Hmm.
6 months down the line, they actually like, man, I actually can make some money with this, so I need to figure out how to do that. And so it goes start to shift a little bit, you know, and
Yeah.
because we're so heavenly minded, and now we got to figure out the business part of it,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
So, but
Go.
go
Yeah.
ahead. Hmm.
Well, just going. I want to kind of go back to what I said too.
Hmm.
Some people, uh, they don't want to be that successful. Some people, they just want to put music out and see how far their music go. What would you say about those type of artists who? Because I've met artists before like this. I met one, by the way. I'm not going to say what his name was. His name is, but he said, "Yeah, man, I just put my music out, and I just let it see where it goes." You know, so it sounds like he don't have any plan. He
No
just
plan.
shooting for the moon. He just
Yeah.
shooting with his eyes closed.
Yeah.
So what would you say about artists who work like that, who don't have a plan?
Well, success talks about them is they say this saying, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. You know, um, you don't have a plan. You don't have a and this is my thoughts about that. Especially if God told you to do this,
Mm.
right? If God told you to really do this, and there's some people who really need it, like, are you really want to go back to God and say that, hey, I worked on this for days and long hours of the night and
Hmm.
weeks, and I've put so much resources into, you know, what you told me to do, and then I just stood on the top of the castle and just threw it over the wall just to see what happens.
Yeah.
You know, it's like what is God going to actually say? Like, yo, I told you to take this to my people. You know, I told you
Yeah.
to take it to the people who need to hear it. I didn't
Hmm.
just give it to you just to see what was going to happen.
Hmm.
You know, so in that respect, I'm like, yo, like you've really disgraced yourself in front of the Almighty,
Hmm.
um, because you didn't take what you had seriously. You know, it's like
Yeah.
casting your pearls among swine. You know,
Yeah.
mhm.
Some people don't. I feel like some artists, some Christian artists, don't think that way. The way you're thinking in terms of God wanting you to use your music.
Yeah,
I think
because they're
if they
not taught.
start, yeah, yeah, exactly. And I feel like if they were taught, then they would have a different mindset of how
Yeah,
to plan their career as an artist, and they would start thinking about other things like souls, winning souls. But what gets me is, I mean, I would at least think about how much work I've done on the music. I mean, that
if
gets me.
if
That,
anything,
yeah, that gets that gets me now because I look at my old stuff, and I think sometimes that's what it takes for artists is they'll create a lot of music, and then as they get older, they may look back at the music they created and be like, man, this felt like a waste because it ain't really
right,
nobody really heard of it.
right,
And so that kind of touches our artists a lot of times
yeah.
deeply, you know, kind of
This
it
is
may hurt you as an
this is the
artist.
thing that really gets artists is that it's the fact of the work that it's going to take. You know,
Yeah.
any on any road to destination, this is the thing that's overlooked. is the actual work that needs to be taking place to get to your destination. It's not going to happen so instantaneous like this generation is now, society is now. Everybody wants to be in their pajamas and and be successful. I just want to stay behind a computer and get out there, which the odds of that happening is slim to none. You
Yeah.
know, and so just because you think it happened for somebody else, which if you look at what they actually did, it was so much more than them staying at home and blowing up on the internet. I look, I I can't stress that enough. It's the stuff that you don't see. You're being told lies. That hey, all I did was just put up videos all day and that's all I did. It's like no, you actually had to tell people that you were up. So you had to go get out of your house. I'm not saying that you had to have a big concert or whatever, but you had to put some boots to the ground to get the word out there that you are who you say you are.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, yeah. If you're watching this show, welcome to a Regular Raps Talk Show. I'm with Victor Smith, and if you have any questions, man, we're talking about planning your career as an artist. So, if you got any questions, send me a question in the comment, and we'll ask them. See if you can stump them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. One thing you said was destination. We're going to talk about how do you plan? Like, are there certain steps? But you said destination. This is a big question, and this was a big question before the show I had with you. But destinations, man, I feel like the longer we live in this crazy world where things are changing, it's possible that destinations can change. Because I mean, with technology and social media, things are changing. The way music is presented, I feel like the destinations, they're still the same destinations as far as like when it shows I don't know, touring to do events, but now I feel like there's other destinations included, which is just being on social media, because now you have like a lot of YouTubers who may just post stuff from their home, but also you have YouTubers who do things outside, and they're all about videotaping everything you do. So I don't know if if you see all of this, if you're aware of all of this on YouTube, but what are the destinations for musicians nowadays? Do you see?
Well, to be honest with you, going back to your example, I think the destinations have not changed. It's the way that you get there that has changed, because it's not the process, it's not the what you're doing online, it's what your goals are. You want to have so many videos to get to such and such level. So whether your videos are you in your house or you outside, that's just a process in the goal, in the actual goal. Your goal may be 100,000 videos to get 100,000 subscribers or something. That's a goal,
Is that a
but
destination too?
it could be. It could
Yeah.
be. If that's all you care about is just to say I want this many followers, but it's not enough just to have it. You got to learn. You got to know how to keep them too. So, but what you do is a part of the process of how to get there. Okay, so you want to have 100,000 fans as a recording artist. The process is you have to make a certain amount of CDs or a certain amount of songs. You got to go on tour a certain amount of times. That's the process along the way to getting these fans. So the fans are the destination, if that's your destination, or your destination may be a lifestyle. I want to live in a mansion and have the fans pay my bills. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to create a system for something like that to work, right? So the system includes a certain amount of songs, a certain amount of tours, and all that type of stuff to gain the necessary amount of fans to have and set up a system for them to pay you $100 a year or $100 a month or something like that.
Yeah.
And that's going to pay your bills for your house, your mansion, and your, you see what I'm saying? Like like those are destinations that have always been there, but the way to get them has changed. The way to get to those specific destinations have changed.
So goals are, to me, the way you're explaining it now makes better sense, because to me goals can be destinations. It's like the end results.
Right.
Yeah,
That's it. Yeah.
yeah.
But they could also be milestones, because think
Mm,
about the process of what I talked about. The milestone for the 100,000 fans to pay your bills might be, I need 100,000 subscribers,
mm,
right? So the subscriber mark could be um, a landmark. It's a goal, but it's just a goal as a landmark. The ultimate goal is for these people to pay your bills.
mm.
You see what I'm saying? So the goals, it's almost like when you're going from here or from wherever you are to, I don't know, Oregon or whatever, and you see those mile markers on the road. Like if you drive in, you'll see those mile here, mile here, mile here. Think about every one of those being a goal. You know, a specific. It's the next goal. It's the next goal. It's the next goal. But it's not the ultimate goal. You know, so your ultimate goal is like, what do you want at the end of the tunnel? But within that, you've got to have certain milestone and goals to get there. But you got to go backwards. You got to figure out your destination first and then work backwards. The same way we do with GPS. We say that we have a destination that we need to go into. The first thing that we do is put in our ultimate goal is to get to this particular mile marker point, right?
Yeah.
And then it starts to calculate backwards to where you are,
Mm.
right? And then now it's time to start going forward based upon that plan,
Mm.
right?
Mm.
And so
Yeah.
what we've been doing, we've been just getting in our car and just going. You know, we just take our career like your boy, just throwing it out there and seeing what happens. He ain't got no goal, no plan, no GPS. He just out there winging it, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he might get to his destination a lot longer than somebody else that's actually has a plan.
To me, people like that don't even have a destination though. And that's not the right, I mean, that's not the right way to carry yourself as an artist, I guess, right? I mean, you need a destination. I mean, to me, if you don't have a destination, I mean, in my opinion, it's like, what's the point of making your music?
Right.
Even if your destination was very small, like you gotta be, I mean, there has to be a reason for making it. And I guess the passion, you know, maybe, I don't know if you would call that a destination. I don't know, but
the passion is just a reason to keep going.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you can have a goal and lose your passion, and then all of a sudden you just don't want that goal anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you lost your luster for it. I mean, it felt good at the moment, or while you were in it, but you know, you might have like some tragedy may happen, and now you don't have a passion for it again, and now you're headed to a different goal. You know, other things, a different priority in life has crept up. So,
yeah. For I'm gonna pretend like I'm a new artist. I'm just listening to you, and you actually, you know, I just put out this music, and you just told me, "Do you have a plan?" I'm like, "A plan? No. What is the plan?" So you already told me what the plan was. I'm like, "Oh, okay." My next question is, how do I start my plan? Like, how do I start planning to? And I'm gonna say my destination is to get 100,000 views, or I get like a million followers on my Instagram page.
Okay.
What do I start with?
So first of all, you've acknowledged the goal, the ultimate goal, and that's what you want, right? Now you need to figure out like what vehicle are you going to use to get there. So are you going to use music? Are you going to use videos? Are you going to use just talking or whatever? You need to figure out like what's going to attract the people to do it, and then you have to become a master at that. Okay, you have to become a master at your craft before you can actually like for real. You got to be a master at driving, at least a great driver to drive cross country to California, right? You don't want no newbie behind a wheel.
Yeah.
That's scared of the interstate. You know what I mean? Like you at least got to get to your craft enough to know what you're doing. So But then you think about your plan. You think about your destination. You got to set a plan. But this is what you do: is you work backwards. Okay.
Mm.
So now you want to figure out how long do I want to take to get there? How long do I like? Is it going to be 6 months? Is it going to be 6 years? And you have to be very realistic according to what you plan on, the energy that you plan on exuding towards this goal.
Yeah.
So let's say if it's a year. So if you're talking about what was the number?
I just said a million
A million.
views.
Okay. So in 6 months, you got to get 500,000.
Yeah.
In 6 months, you got to at least have 500,000,
Mm.
right? And so 3 months before that, you need to have 250,000.
Mm-hmm.
And then in a month and a half before that, you got to have at least 12.5. You kind of see where I'm going?
Yeah. And I remember before the show, like we were talking about social media. Like if that was your goal,
And
one
if
of the
that's
things,
all you using,
yeah,
good
one of
luck.
one of the things you said was create a social media calendar.
Right, a
It
social
sounds
calendar.
similar to
Yep.
social calendar. Okay,
Mhm.
sounds similar. By the way, I'm just giving an example, y'all. A million, like for me, that wouldn't be my goal. Like I don't care about the numbers, so I'm just giving y'all an example. Let me ask this too, because for Christian artists, is it bad to have a goal like that? Do you think? Like,
No,
okay,
but you got to figure out like what is your heart? Like what's
yeah.
the
What's
heart
your heart?
behind it?
What's the reason? Yeah,
What for what? What
yeah.
are you doing that? Because I know with numbers, 20% of the people that you reach out to are going to actually do what you say that you're trying to get them to do. So if you're trying to get them to follow Christ, for
Mhm.
instance, something our um our the goal that this is what we should be going after first and foremost. Okay, if we're trying to get 100,000 people to follow Christ, we have to at least reach 1 million.
Mm.
You see what I'm saying? Now,
Yeah.
if you need to get to that, if that's your goal, I want to reach 100,000. You need to be shooting for 1 million people,
So why do you
right?
say that? Why do you say that?
It's 10 to 20%.
Okay, got you.
You feel me? So
Mm.
it's you got to think you got to think numbers. That's just business. I've talked to many mega churches, and they reach out as far as events and all that type of stuff all the time. And I asked them, I was just like, what's your return? And they always tell me it's roughly about 20% of the
Wow.
people who they reach out to that actually show up to these events. It's 20%. I talk to major businesses, business owners,
Yeah.
successful folks. It's the same number. It's the same
Mm.
number. So if we're trying to get 100 people to our party, we need to reach out to 1,000 of them
Wow.
just to
Yeah.
get 100. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
so our problem is that hey, we're just reaching out to the number that we want to come. We want 100 people. We just reach out to 100, and 10 people show up. If that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then we
Yeah. Yeah.
upset like like it ain't work. No,
Mhm.
you didn't have a strategy. You didn't know the numbers. So first off, to really answer your question about like what is your first steps, is you get with a mentor, somebody that who can help you um, build the perfect plan for you, for your goals. You need
Mm-hmm.
to have somebody um, who has been there before, who has done it, to teach you how to get there.
Yeah.
So if you want to reach out to Sanctified Sound, please do that. It's what we do. It's what we do is that we help recording artists do this
Mm-hmm.
type of stuff. So, but that's the first thing that you do.
Mm. So I got a question by Gentrell Glover. It's probably not the same. It doesn't fall into what we're talking about, but I might as well drop it
Okay.
into the show. And if anybody else has a question, feel free to send a comment. But he said, since the industry seems to prowl and follow the trend of younger artists, what advice for someone starting the musical journey in their 30s versus their 20s? I guess what advice would you have for them?
Same thing. You need to figure out what your goals are.
Yeah, it doesn't
You need to
change,
figure out.
right? I mean,
Yeah, it doesn't
yeah.
change. Like, I mean, just be you. You because if you try to follow the trends of now, I'm not saying like you rocking old school type of, a vibe or whatever, you might have to like, update your sound. Or it's just like the example that I gave. What marketing is the paint job on your car. It's the sunroof on your car, whatever. So it's the rims on your wheel. You
Yeah.
may have to update the aesthetics, but as far as the message is concerned, as far as the goals or the what you're shooting for, it's still the same. But it's uh, people in the younger generation have different goals than the older
Yeah.
generation, but it's not less important, because you need to be doing what you need to be doing.
Hmm.
You need to be following specifically at your age range what you're supposed to be doing. The thing that I hate the most to see is a 40-year-old trying to get out there and make 18-year-old music and stuff like that with the beard and everything. Trying to go in.
Be
No,
you,
be
man.
you.
Yeah,
Be you, because there's certain people at your age range that will only listen to you.
yeah, yeah,
And if
yeah,
you're
yeah.
trying to be somebody else, then who's gonna be you?
Yeah, that's a good question because I do think there's artists. I mean, you get tempted when you're over 30 to start thinking that way because we see rap music as a young genre, but you got a lot of rappers who are doing it over 30 and they just have their own lane. And like you said, they're reaching out. Like, I mean, the people who listen to them are going to be different, but they still
Right.
have a demographic. I don't know, and that could be, I guess like a fear, like people have a fear of success or whatever. But I
Yeah.
think that could kind of turn into a fear for some artists. Like, man, they, I
Yeah.
don't know if I can do it anymore. Um,
Please, because most of the artists that you listen to, most of them are in their 20s and 30s.
yeah,
They're up there. Lecrae, look, for real, he's still out there. Most of the people that's on his label, uh, they like they they ain't young. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
there's a lot of them. You got Diddy and what all the secular artists that's out there. They're in their late 20s, early 30s.
mhm,
You know, and they at the top of the game, but
yeah,
they have a whole bunch of artists. I'm sorry, a whole bunch of they have a big audience that listens to them. That's around that age. But then you
yeah,
have the NBA young boys. You have the young cats that's who they listen to because he speaks their language. So
and I feel like age is just a number when it comes to this. Like, certain age, of course, but it's just a number, and it depends on you knowing what to do more than a number. Like, you knowing how to, like, for example, we're talking about playing your music and just make the right move. So the more knowledge you have
right,
about this stuff, the better
right.
off you are as an artist. You want to,
So another thing too is that your goals, like your ultimate goal, is different than somebody that's 18.
mm,
So you've got you God has given you a certain skill to get to your goal. Your the thing that He gave you is the skill that He wants you to use to get to your goal. So if you take up somebody else's skills and take up somebody else's trying to match, and there's a saying that says that comparison is the thief of joy. When you compare yourself to somebody, you're losing. Like, you understand that, hey, that's why people get upset. It's like, I'm
mm,
comparing myself to such and such or whatever.
yeah,
But the you have you have a certain goal that you're trying to reach, and your skills at your age um, are designed by God to get there.
yeah, yeah.
So don't try to match with somebody else,
I
what
like that.
somebody else is doing.
I like that. I like that. Yeah. Yeah, Jules. If I had a bell, I would hit that bell like 10 times right now. Bing, 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 bing. I don't have a bell though. All right, y'all. Look, I got another question for you. We ain't stopping because
Hmm.
this question is a good question because there's a lot of artists who are not on a record label, and this was a big question. I had it personally for me because I'm not on a record label, but compared to a record label versus what do you call it? Indie artists, yeah, indie artists. is the plan more constricted when you're on a record label than if you're an indie artist? Because I feel like, you know, record labels, they have a what is it? They have a time limit of when things are supposed to come out. I feel like things are more constricted on a record label. So does your plan change? And are your plans more constricted because of that when you're on a record label compared to indie artists?
Well, there's more of a process because it's not just you that you're thinking about it, that they're thinking about. They have a whole bunch of people that they're trying to make successful to make them money. Because labels are investment firms. That's what a record label is.
Money.
Yeah, it's all about money. Most of them put it like that. Not all of them. But they have a bunch of people that are trying to help be successful, using their resources to be successful. So yes, in a certain degree, yes, it is constricted because there's a process, there's a system in place. Now, when you're an independent artist, you also need to have a system. Okay, so it's not different from a record label. The only thing that is the fact that there's nobody coming before you. There's nobody coming after you. So you can take the time you need to do to get your process and all your system into place. But when you start rolling, you're going to be rolling exactly like a record label. The only thing that's different from a record label than an individual is resources. Mm-hmm. That's it. That's the only reason people get to labels. Think about it. Why do people want to get on labels in the first place? It's resources. That's it. Mm-hmm. Not that they can do anything that they can't, that an artist can't do on their own. It's just they have more resources. They can get in better places. They have people that an independent artist don't have, right? We may know somebody on a lower level, but an industry, record label may have a better connection. That's the only thing that's different. So the process is still the same. The goal is still the same. The only thing that's different is the resource. It's just the gas. Instead of have in your cars, instead of having regular gas in a record label, you may have premium. You know what I mean? So it's a little bit more gas to get you, going a lot further.
Yeah, like a Beamer. That's right. A car I'm driving right now, man.
Okay. Look at you.
Somebody let me borrow it.
Gliding across the road.
Yeah, convertible.
Play with him. I ain't mad at you.
If y'all trying to figure out what I'm talking about, my car broke down, so somebody let me hold their car, which is a BMW. So, I ain't gonna talk about that though. Get on my high horse again. But this is good stuff, man. I feel like, man, to a record label, we should talk about that another show. But definitely know what you're getting yourself into when trying to get on a record label. I wonder why artists sometimes. Well, I wonder why a lot of times artists will be quick to leave the record label. And sometimes I wonder if it's because, you got the face, but sometimes I wonder if it's because they don't want to be constricted anymore. And that's
it.
That is, wow.
Because they've reached a certain level of, what their goals for getting on the record label was accomplished.
I was just thinking that.
Or it was a massive failure.
How can it be a failure?
Because you work harder than the label does.
Wow.
Or the label doesn't treat you the way that you thought you should be treated. It wasn't label. What you thought it was. It's a bad label. They look good on the outside as a lemon. Mm-hmm. You got on a bus, which is a label, a bus, right? Your destination is a bus. Yeah. And the bus keeps breaking down.
Man, for Christian record labels, I notice sometimes, artists will leave, and this is different from secular record labels, but sometimes artists may leave because they disagree with how
massive failure.
Yeah, so that's a failure too. Yeah, sometimes like they'll leave because they believe in certain things,
Right.
Christian
Difference of philosophy.
theological things. Yeah.
Yep.
I know, man, I think in Reach Records, I'm not sure. I know KB left for something around that issue. Um, I think Andy Mineo, I don't know if he didn't leave,
Can't tell
but
me that. He left,
uh
bro.
but
That's news to me.
no, no,
What,
no, he didn't leave. He didn't leave. I just know
bro?
like I
Let
just
me
know
find
like
out.
I what I read about him one time was that he's dirty. He's I don't know how old, but he recently
Yo,
hit
yeah,
30
he's a
years
veteran.
old and he's older. So now they're recruiting
Yeah.
younger people on the record label.
Which is
Sometimes,
smart.
yeah. Sometimes I feel like artists as they get older too, they look at that and they're like, okay, y'all seem to be treating them more because they're younger. This goes back to the question Jentrell kind of asked, because I think as you get older and if you're on a record label, that can affect you too, more than
Yeah.
being an indie artist, because you're yourself. But when you're on a record label, you hit a certain age and you got artists who are in their 20s, then
Right.
you may feel some type of way because the record label is paying more attention.
But quick
them.
question.
Yeah.
When's the last concert that you went to?
It's been a while, man.
Thank
I think
you.
the
Somebody that's 18.
I'll say that again.
Ask somebody that's 18.
About what? Oh, the last concert.
The last concert they've been to. I guarantee you it's gonna be like a month ago. They're consuming music on a higher level than older, we have our picks and chooses. We don't just get out there just for fun. It's like, yo, if it ain't this artist, I ain't going.
Yeah. So that's why the record labels are like that. It's business.
Yeah, it's business. Yeah. They make more money with younger artists than they do older artists.
That makes
Unless
sense.
you just massively selling. But even in that case, it's the same thing.
Yeah. Okay.
But that's a different conversation.
Yeah. I got a question for you. When did you start planning your career as an artist? And is that something that you had to learn yourself, or did you learn it from somebody else?
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. I never really planned on being a recording artist.
Okay.
I didn't. It wasn't a part of my plan. One of my business partners, guy that I started with, he asked me to teach him how to rap. I wasn't really rapping at the time, but we formed a group. And so we just started hitting the road. We didn't have internet and all that type of stuff. All we had was our feet, and we got out there and we just did our thing. But what really made me take it seriously is I had 3 guys with me, and it was almost like I had their careers in my hand. And so it wasn't for me, it was for them, because I could care less about being famous and all that type of stuff. But I knew that it was something that they enjoyed, and I just enjoyed the company, so my goal was for them to succeed, and to a certain degree we did.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That kind of changes what I thought. I was going to ask another question, but I don't think I can now because the way you answered it. But it's all
just
good.
bust your head open. No, for real. It was very humble beginnings. It had nothing to do with money, to do with success, nothing like that.
Yeah.
It was just like, man, God gave me these guys, and I was, I've never had brothers.
Yeah.
I grew up in a house full of women, and these were my brothers. And for me, it was just the camaraderie. It was just the friendship.
Okay.
But for them, it was that too. But they really wanted to be successful, So I was like, man, I bust my behind them to make sure that happened for them.
Yeah. Who can you think of as an artist? I mean, I know of an artist. We actually talked about him before, but I'm curious if you say somebody else or maybe the same dude. But what artist can you think of where you saw them proceed with their goals and it was evident? I mean, you saw that they succeeded, and you can tell that they planned it out, and they went through with their plans, their goals.
Yeah. You talking about personally, or you just talking about period?
No, just period. It can be a successful artist, or maybe it can be an artist what's a successful artist, because so that maybe people who's watching, they can relate. to somebody they know?
To be honest with you, it was Lecrae.
Lecrae.
Because he started down here. He was an artist that was in the southern region. He before he got on with Cross Movement actually.
Yeah.
So before he got signed, he was down here, boots to the ground. Nobody knew about him, but he was. I mean, his music. When you heard it, it was like, oh my gosh, like who is this dude? I've actually had one of my artists open up for him. So at University of Lafayette in Louisiana, he came down there. He's been to LSU a few times. So that's when I remember back. It was close to 2000. When was this? 2006. Because I remember it was right before Hurricane Katrina.
Right.
And he was here. He was down. He was in LSU. And I didn't go to that concert because our power was out and stuff like that. And so I knew a hurricane was coming. It was just dangerous going out there. But Lecrae was there. He was before and even afterward. He was around there. And I never forget the first time I saw him was at a little concert, no more than 150 people at UL. And it was the best concert I've ever seen. He was on stage by himself. And it was the crunkest thing that I've ever seen in my life. And I'm sitting there, this dude holding down the stage. Like, he may be tired looking at him. But I can't tell you one song he did. Because when I left there, all I had was Jesus on my mind. And he was like a for real dude. And he didn't even have a green room. You know where he was when he finished?
Where?
He was sitting against the wall with his wife. With his wife. And he was right there.
Yeah.
Just right there. There was no green room. So he was like one of us.
Mm-hmm.
And this is why I'm so hard about hitting the ground. That's what Lecrae did. Mm-hmm. It had nothing to do with the internet. He was always busy every week. He was hitting the southern region over in places over and over again. He wasn't just because he went to one city and did something didn't mean that he came back. He came multiple times to the same place.
Yeah.
He did what we as artists need to be doing.
Yeah.
And he blew up.
Yeah. That's good to hear. Humble beginnings by an artist, man.
Right.
I have a question about like plans that, we all may make plans, but we may not go through with those plans. Let me see. How shall I ask you this question? This is the last question before we get to this last song and review it. But how do you stick with your plans? Like what's going to help people listening to go through with their plans? Because people may have a lazy mindset all of a sudden and not follow through with their plans, or they may forget about it, or they may be unorganized. I don't know. But what's going to help them? What's some of the things that's going to help them?
This is going to sound very generic, but it's the truth. Remember why you got started in the first place. That's it.
Yeah.
We get so frustrated. Yes, life hits. Tragedy strikes. But we've got to go back and remember why we started off in the first place. That the thing that gave you the energy is enough to sustain you. If you just keep it in the forefront of your mind. God gave that to you. That's the carrot in front of the horse. To get the horse to move. They used to put like a carrot on his head to get him to follow the carrot. That's his motivation. You got to go back to what motivated you in the first place.
I don't know nothing about that carrot horse.
So, literally.
I guess you got to be on a farm to know that.
I told my age, but
I was just saying.
No, but for real. That's it. It's simple. And Satan will do everything in his power to get you unmotivated. He will do everything in his power to get you distracted, to get you off kilter, off focused. And all you have to do is go back to your why. That's what Jesus did. You think every step he took, he knew he had to die? Would you still be walking? You know what I mean? So he had to remember why he was doing it.
Yeah, man.
Not your will, Lord, but not my will, but let your will be done. Because my will is say, no, I ain't doing it. I'm about to take my disciples and we going to IHOP and we're gonna do our thing. But not my will, but yours be done.
Jesus' will had to be so, his why had to be so, I mean, he was just so motivated.
Right.
He was so disciplined, man, to not sin. I mean, as a human being, and to die on the cross for our sins. His why was so big for us. Yeah.
It's massive. It's something that we can't even dream to have on our back. So if Jesus can carry that for 3 years, what do you think? Is it so hard to carry what God telling you to do? What's the problem? What's the issue? You know, we don't have that type of burden. You know, so do what you got to do.
Yeah, do what you got to do. All right, y'all. We got one more song, and this is a song that was sent to me. It's on my Irregular Raps YouTube page. Subscribe to my YouTube. Follow me if you're not familiar with my Irregular Raps page. Go ahead and just go there. You know, I don't have the bell. You know that YouTube bell. Bling.
Right.
I need that stuff on my show,
some
man.
Sound effects or something, you know. Step your game up. No, just
Hey, I'm getting there.
Hey, I'm with you, bro. Long for the ride, bro.
I like this song too. This song is by Brother Dre. The name of the song is Itching Ears. And I always like listening to the song. This song is a little different. I mean, not too different than his other music that I've heard, but he's really rapping fast on this song. He has rapped fast before, but this one is the words are really like fast. Yeah, it's cooking.
It was cooking.
So I'm gonna play this in the background like I did the other song. See if y'all can hear it a little bit. It's a good song though, man. I like how it comes in with that sax horn, you know, a little jazzy.
Right.
And you can hear the auto tune on his vocals right there.
From minute to bitter, now out of the bitter, gotta be for me, nobody exists me. If you're only 7, you gotta be winning. Plus, I got a tip with a hell of a beginning. They be on the media, ticking and talking, the clock, I be ticking. We out of the minute, the levels of the.
Let me turn this up a little bit.
Ready for bring your bottle to dinner. And if you can see, then you part of the mission. But then if you don't, then you blind in your vision. My God, for love, my God, for water. Gotta forgiveness, but gotta division. No, so far, can I go back? This real no.
All right, so that's the fast rap part we're talking about. I like his style. It's a little different. A lot of times when you hear this wavy trap, these wavy trap songs, rappers don't really rap fast with the auto-tune, in my opinion. Like, I always hear them rapping slower, you know. They go so slow and still hard to hear what they're saying sometimes. He's rapping fast and you can't catch the words that he's saying, all of the words that he's saying. Well, do you like the song, first of all? You like the song?
Man, I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I love this song.
Wow.
I
okay.
love it. When you sent it to me, man, I couldn't stop playing it. Because it's my vibe. I feel like if I was a rapper, when I was rapping, I would have gravitated to a track something like this. Okay. You know, just a track. But I like how he came on it. But if you, to be honest with you, in the South, we hear this all the time.
Oh yeah,
okay? Yeah. This will really bang down here. But I agree with you. I didn't understand a thing he was saying until the second half of the song. I was vibing with just how it felt, you know. But then I had to go back and listen to his words. But then I get caught up in the vibe of how it felt, and I was like, man, I forgot to listen to the words. Then it'll happen again. I'm like, man, okay, Vic, settle down and listen to the words. It's just one of them vibe songs, man. Like you you driving at night, you know, you're dealing with some things, and you know, it's just one of them songs that you play while you just you lost in your thoughts. That's what I love about it. But I agree with you as far as the rap is. I wish I understood what he was saying, and this is the thing that's going to set him apart is when he figures that out, or whoever is mixing this song figures that out to really articulate the words. It's going to take his career to a whole nother level. Because I think from
Test. You there? Uh-oh. I think we lost Victor, y'all. Well, if we lost Victor, hopefully he'll come back. He got froze. Man, that was the longest freeze.
Right. I don't know what happened.
I think they try and kick us off because we just ran over the hour mark.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, they like, yo, what's going on? Y'all usually out, you know?
Right. And you ain't cleaned up yet. You still got to tear it out.
Yeah, man. I don't know. But yeah, you were saying the last thing you said that I heard, you said if the engineer knew how to articulate his words.
Yeah. If once they figure that out, on how to articulate how to really space out his words and get people to understand what he's actually saying, it's really going to be an impact to a lot of people. So
okay, yeah. I mean, when I hear his other songs, like I said, you can hear his words pronounced, I think, more because he's not rapping fast. But I agree.
Right.
I think you can always do.
I would love to hear that live. Bruh, for real. You talk about tears in the audience. You know what I mean? Like it's like, bruh, it's like now let's talk for real. Let's try to win some souls after this.
You think there's gonna be people in the crowd with tears with this song? This to me, just because it's hard to hear what he's saying, it's not a tear.
It's the vibe. It's the vibe. Yeah. It's not necessarily because you can get away with it with body language. You know exactly what he's talking about, especially when he slows down and he really gets to that towards the end, and you really hear what he's saying. It's like, bruh, get it together. Get it together. You know, so I would love to see it live.
Yeah. By the way, when he sent this to me, in one of the things he put that was about the song was he put 2 Timothy 4:3, which sets the tone for this message. So if you go to, I'm not even on my Bible right now. Maybe I should go.
Uh-oh.
But in general, it's about not drifting away from God. So we must pay attention and not drift away from God. Maybe you, man, now I done set the scripture. I'm gonna try to go there real quick for y'all, real quick. Come on, play the Jeopardy music for me, Victor.
Jeopardy? No. Man, I watched Jeopardy so long.
Oh man. So 2 Timothy 4:3 says, "For the time will come when people will not put up with sound doctrine. Instead, to suit their own desires, they will gather around them a great number of teachers to say what their itching ears want to hear." So that's where he based the song off of,
drifting.
Yeah, drifting.
And that's a deep message, man. Look, I'm telling you, live, and then you go off into that message because you got their ears now. That's what I'm saying with this particular type of song.
Yeah.
Is that this will grab people's attention.
Yeah.
And now you got them. Now what you gonna say? And I don't want to hear no. Thank y'all. Y'all been a great crowd. No. You have them. Yeah. Say something. This is the ministry point, and I'm telling you, man, that song will change lives. I firmly believe that. Like I said, I'd love to hear how he presents that song. I see how he presents that song.
Yeah, he's on the move, and he's always sending me music, man. He's always dropping these singles, and man, we gotta talk about. That's something to talk about too. Yeah, man. Like when we talk
might
about
have to pick this up.
Hey.
Once a month might not be enough. You got to help the people.
Yeah, man. because I'm thinking about dropping singles. We kind of touched on that before, dropping singles, albums, man. The singles seem to be the way to go, like right now. I was talking to somebody about that recently, because, and we talked about this, like when you drop a single and you focus on that single, you present that single the right way. It's going to catch people's attention because you're focused on that single and not the overall album where there's a bunch of songs. I don't want to talk. Yeah, go ahead.
Real quick, that's the way that you promote, period, anyway.
Yeah.
You got to focus on, like, you go to Sam's and, I don't know if y'all got a Sam's up there.
Yeah.
But you go in there and then people have samples, right? You have the little, especially the little Chinese lady with the orange chicken. She has the orange chicken. She has like with the little toothpick and everything. Here, orange chicken.
I'm not in Sam's that often, so.
Well, they have people that's doing samples.
Gotcha,
all over the place, and it's just like just taste, and then you buy. That's what a single is. A single is a sample.
Yeah.
And so you're trying to get these samples out to a whole bunch of people so they can buy your.
But people aren't treating singles like that.
Right.
I think.
So this is the problem, though, is that your singles aren't leading you anywhere, and this is what's lost.
Do you think they're not leading you anywhere?
They're not. They're just going from single to single to single to single. They just going, right? And so this is the problem, is that think about all the singles that guy has dropped. This is the first song I've heard, and it happened to be on this show. So how many people is he missing by not traveling?
By not traveling.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's missing a lot. Definitely.
He's missing a lot of people.
Yeah.
Just putting out these singles all online and stuff like that, and just throwing it out there. You got to hit the road because you have a lot of people. Like that song, like for real, is my jam. And I'm like, bruh, I would have never heard that song if it wasn't for this podcast. Think about if how many people how many lives he would change with that song if he traveled. Just that song.
Definitely. Yeah.
I don't put out another single next month.
I don't know if he could be traveling too. I don't know. I don't know. All right, y'all. So we done, man. I appreciate people for tuning in and dropping your comments. Make sure you follow Victor at Sanctified Sound. What's it? sanctifiedsound.org.
www.sanctifiedsound.org. That's where you can catch me.
Yeah.
Everything. So you find out about my business, find out about how I can help you as a recording artist. If you're a recording artist, if you know a recording artist that needs some help, that's what I do. That's my life. So I aim to help. www.sanctifiedsound.org. I didn't have my book with me.
It's all good. It's all good. We've been away for a while, so man. You forgot about it, I guess.
I forgot about it.
Yeah.
Will never happen again.
All right, people. We out of here. Stay tuned. Be blessed. Flowing God's love. Till next time.